Hi, everybody. Pastor Kathy here, and I'm going to give you a 1-minute tip on journaling. I have to tell you, journaling, when I started to do it, it has ramped up my spiritual life in so many ways. So I get excited to tell you about this. These are the kind of journals I use. Just a little insight. I like to have the same kind of journal. I use the same kind of pen every time so it doesn't distract me, the outside things. So consider that. Journaling, what it does for me is it helps me to focus. It helps me focus on my time in the Bible. It also helps me focus on my prayer life because when I write things down, I slow down, which is really helpful to me in my time to focus. I slow down and I think about it more. Essentially, journaling is what David did in the Psalms. If you look through the Psalms, you see essentially it's David's journal. Let me give you an example in Psalm 27. This is verse 1 of Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Then he goes down and he says, hear my voice when I call, Lord. Be merciful to me. Answer me. Do not hide your face from me. My journal sometimes sounds like this, sounds like what David is saying. And so just a couple tips on journaling. Journaling is not about what you did that day. It's not a list of your activities. It's about the things that God is showing you and the things that he's teaching you about in his word. It's also super helpful. What I do is I often, not all the time, but I often write out my prayers for people or my prayers about things because I can write and I can pray at the same time. And it gets in my head and it stays there all day when I write it down. And so those are my 3 tips. Helps me focus, slows me down. And the last one, which I didn't say yet, is I get to look back. I get to look back and see what God has done and what he's doing.